Hey, what's up? Solar. I'm going to show you a few new moves here. Okay, here's the first one. It's going to go down. The movement that I have, wrist roll, figure eight, and grab. Basically what it looks like is wrist roll, and it goes behind your head. Now this is kind of a strange move. I learned this from actually spinning a staff. The movement is when it's down, it's going to curl behind and over like this. You want to get used to this movement, right, like this, see? Comes here and then over. Once you have that, you just wrist roll yourself back up and catch it behind your back. So wrist roll, down. Okay. Looks pretty cool because it comes over your head like a big circle. Wrist roll behind your head, wrist roll, spin, catch. Okay? Here's the next one. You know how to riptide, then you can do this new one. Make sure you know how to riptide. I have a prior video that shows you. You basically have one under, one over. One hand pulls it over and grabs the other end. That. Okay? Well, this one, you just move your hands. It's a different dynamic because as the chuck moves, you have to make the throws a little bit harder and a little bit tighter. They can't be loose at all, so you have to be really comfortable with your rip tides here. The nice thing is you can use these rip tides with hyper style or X catches, because here you go, you're doing rip tide, X catch, see. You can do one hand with a stall, like this. So as you're running it, stall, back, stall, stall, back, hyper. Smash the wall, break it, make sure it doesn't exist. We can go this way, so you can go down, here, back, back, boom. We're going back to our, here, and we can go back to our rip tides in different locations with X catches. Okay, one more thing I want to show. Most of these are fillers. Instead of just doing this figure eight here, you know, figure eight, everyone does these, right? That's a great starting point, but sometimes you get tired of doing figure eights before you do your next big move. And here's a really good one that you can use as an alternative to a figure eight. You know the circular spin, right? It's just your arms straight, spins in a circle. You know, your arms straight, spins in a circle. You know how we can do circular spins like this and cover it over distant planes. If you don't know this, this is really good. Spin it forward, then it's like a figure eight right here. To change the planes, it's like a figure eight, it's like this. So we're going on this plane, and then we shift it this way to get to that plane. See, we don't have to bounce it or anything. Boom, this plane, plane, plane. You can even do it with wrist rolls, but it's not that easy to do. Okay, so it's wrist roll, wrist roll, wrist roll, wrist roll, okay? What I want to show is this circular plane right here, okay? And here's what we're going to do. We're going to do two wrist rolls. Okay, you have to know how to do this wrist roll like this, the infinite one, okay? So we're going to do two wrist rolls, grab, riptide it into two wrist rolls over here, and then we're going to go back and forth. This is a switch between riptides and wrist rolls. Boom, wrist roll, riptide, wrist roll, riptide, wrist roll. You can do an X catch in the middle. Okay? Now you can do, you can do this with hyper style too, you know? Go back to here. Back. Okay? You can also, do you remember this illusions of variance? This move? I'll show you again if you don't know it. While you're doing a wrist roll, this chuck spins downward as this one goes upward. It gives it an illusion, like there's more movement than there is. Like that, okay? You're doing your wrist roll, variance. Yeah, wrist roll, variance. Drop it on the wall again. Smash that wall. Make sure your neighbor's here, or your parents. Down, over. Okay. Whew. So now we have wrist roll, variance, brick stroll. And we're going to come over, back, over here. Like that. We have a riptide, high, low, over, threads. Okay. The last thing I'm going to show today, riptides, right? You know riptides? Then X catches. Know your X catch first. Okay? Trick to an X catch too is you don't have to stop it horizontally. You can actually shift it a little bit more and end it vertically. You can get a much better catch here. It looks a lot cooler, I think, when you can shift it up all the way. And that's just basically, instead of going like this, you just pull it that way. You just take your whole body into it. Boom! Boom! Then you can thread it down. Okay. Now, X catches also work vertically, but you have to hold it. See my knuckles facing different directions? Here. And then movement this way. Boom. So here's your vertical, and there's your horizontal. Now what we can do, here's the movement. Catch, X catch, thread, X catch, thread, X catch, thread, X catch, thread, X catch. I can't talk. So, it's going to be